Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 14, Dawntrail. After I've been to the last two parts, I don't know if I'm ready for what's next. But let's speak with Luklamat. Preservation, their purpose. I told y'all would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. What of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? Luklamat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe. And that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear. So together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you need. I would be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. Don't forget about me! How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are! Guloja! Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alize and the others said you were here. Good news, Arya. We finally found the chink in Calyx's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once has a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029 it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And we need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. And it's thankfully just up here. Thankfully they kept us up here, so we just have to get up to where the dungeon was last patch. Do that, I think. I hope. Maybe. Probably. Hello. Ready to head on up? Next stop, 10th level. Yes, let's go.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see. Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit...
You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You're a treasure, Shale.
I can contribute precious little else, I'm afraid, but I appreciate your kind words. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course, but I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researcher's Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. So we should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but fortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack. In case I can't, you might want to look around, see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. Shouldn't be surprised if we find one. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? I expect we'll have the most luck looking where researchers kept their personal belongings. You begin searching Containment Complex 1029. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrades should you find yourself unable to proceed. Alright, well there's some paperwork here. A few documents sit in an untidy stack atop the desk. You find no security cards hidden among them. Notice board. A few indecipherable notes remain pinned to this notice board. Nothing resembles a security card. Desk organizer. Small shelving unit holds some office supplies and little else of note. Was this really a preservation laboratory? I thought there'd be something more, I don't know, special about it. I'm not gonna talk to everyone. In fact, I'm just gonna go to the solution, because I know the solutions roughly if I remember them. This appears to be the only desk with drawers already open. You can tell at a glance that this former owner has left some things behind. Let's rifle through it. You discover a car-shaped object. The electrode surface is marked with a bold level 1. Oh, could that be what we're looking for? Try on the door and see if it opens. Let's just get this going. Scanning device. The car-shaped object that you hold looks to be of a similar size to the scanner panel. That's a thing down there. It's fine. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. It's open! You did it, Arya! And a good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. I am curious, though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Director Demetrios, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. And let's continue onward. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Surely we can just go right in. Like, boom. Hold the level 1 security card up, but the scanner beeps in disapproval. No good? Maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner's demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. I'll start a search in the proto lab. That door's already open, at least. We'll find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it. Alright. Up we go. And the way this room is set up, canister inside of that large device looks to be a soul cell? This could be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless. But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Gulajan mentioned a locker over the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look. In the corner? In the corner! The locker door is shut tight. The number pad suggests the inputting the correct combination will open it. You have yet to uncover any potential combinations. Perhaps speaking with your comrades will help your investigation. It's not enter anything. A data tablet here, though. Appears to be a researcher's personal data tablet. Skim through. Today I begin my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calyx's philosophy is a refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained. That mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I am meeting with Director Demetrios today. I have heard others praise his genius intellect, but he seems to be but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calyx's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sveen insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Malala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? For tomorrow, I've been assigned to assist with a research project in the Deutero lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It seemed prudent to back up my memory data. You reached the end of the journal entries. Hello, Gulja. I dug through the data tab and found a journal. Read it to you. The results of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Where's my notepad? Though I will become an endless as per ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with a few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number? Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. You're not helpful. Hey, Lamont. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148, submitting inference candidate 201930 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158, maximum value of 11509 recorded, comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it will make sense later on? Here's a number. This machine feeds into a soul cell. Reminded my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made the whole people? Combination. I've gleaned some numerical data during investigation. Attempt to enter the combination. Yes. You're gonna make me select the. I should have written it down. It's fine. I can do it this way. Select the number keys on the pad to input the combination. Enter up to 5 digits, then press the confirm. So 11509. Confirm. The locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Arya, you got the locker open. And you found another security card. But does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Arya. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I imagine they'd be more, what's the word, bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume that those who could not or would not eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the trail lab and maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locked door across the way. Which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use of it for it. That is not the right one. That's the right one. Alright. So they were pointing out, like, hey, maybe you should read this data tablet. The one we already read. Just like, hey, there's information in here. Make sure you read it. Scanning device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate levels of clearance. Yes, it opened. So where should we go first? The detour lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Alright. Jail. There doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. Facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Dawntrail lab. Alright. Conveniently, they make us go the other way first. Conveniently. Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Jail? That's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Dawntrail lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to configure? I believe you have the right of it. Using the control panels set into each of these tiles, we can create an unbroken path for the power to follow. What do I want to give for an instruction manual? Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask for someone to operate the generator? I can do it! I've used that type of machine before. Then, would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Arya? The rest of us can help by supplying Arya with whatever information might be found in the circuitry configuration. So I do kind of already have the answer, but obviously I don't want to just do it. I was able to glimpse a part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I can make out, it's a caution circuit will not function with duplicate patterns. Suppose that means only one of each circuitry pattern can be set at the same time? The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit's fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Arya, take a look at this diagram. There's a note in the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. The symbol must represent the room we're in. If that square in the top left is Shale's terminal, and the bottom right should be the generator that Gulaja is working on. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming these are our 4 tile patterns, the bottom right is a square and the top right is a half circle? It's half a circle? That's something to get you started at least? These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. Alright. So, we'll look at it this way. Boom, I can't scroll out any further. This is the square, and this is the circle. We got that much from the diagram. So that leaves us with we can't have duplicates. But if you look at them, I should have looked at it before I changed them. Like if I change this one over to diamond, like this provides an unbroken pattern, but except this right here. So let's change this one to triangle, which does provide that pattern. But this is a duplicate. So that leaves diamond. It's really not that complicated. It's just make sure the circuit goes all the way. You have connected all the circuits. Inform your comrades of the successful reconfiguration. It worked! We did it, Arya. The Dawntrail lab should be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data lock before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation in the Early Days is the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. It looks to be a text-based account, and I'll read it out. Preservation in Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development was founded by Calyx, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexander's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calyx's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calyx funneled the preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the Storm Surge came to an end, with Calyx eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So, this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him once, only once, before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calyx could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet still, he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now, I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom and my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports of endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calyx was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs that mortality is cruel and unjust and his role to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Dawntrail lab should be accessible now. I'll give everyone everything once over just to be sure. Just gonna have my chat log back up on my side again. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please, and a quick prayer that the shorter wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. A calculated evolution. Right, I'll get this door open. Ew, smooth the silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Gods above, isn't that? To interdimensional fusion? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they've used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Arya has? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So, might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electro, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will enlist Ishtal's help for our assistance for a thorough investigation. I, too, am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there's a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards that left behind. Remember, anything less than a 3 is no good to us. Alright. Storage crate. The lone storage crate is filled with document binders and other miscellaneous objects, none of which are security cards. Hey, Gulaja. Why were they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? I'll search through these drawers. One of us is bound to find something, I'm sure of it. Maybe someone left the card on the shelf somewhere? I keep holding out hope that I'll find some evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. Wheeled unit. Sturdy-looking shelving unit holds a storage crate and steel barrels. No signs of any security cards. Find a security card in the cabinet drawer. Oh, did you just find a security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Well, if it isn't exactly what we needed, nice work, Arya. Oh, a level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So, what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered the ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. To trace the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back at the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Arya's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. Most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data, though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show then.